welcome back to another video. My name is Jake the Genealogist, and in today's video, we're going to be going over 5 useful tips for starting out in genealogy. So, most of you guys, I hope, are probably in quarantine right now, all cooped up in your house, and here's a recommendation that you should actually spend this doing genealogy, whether you're just starting out or you've already been well versed in genealogy for a long time. It's one of those things that you can do. Learn about your family history. If you want to, even order a DNA kit if you want, all that sort of stuff. And definitely do it during this time when you're cooped up in the house with nothing to do. And so today I'm going to be giving you some tips about bettering your genealogy research. And so the first tip is to use asterisks when you're searching. So in many websites, not just Ancestry, they have an ability where you can type something and use asterisks, those little star-shaped thingies, and to replace letters you're not sure about. So if the ancestor you're looking for, their name is John, for example, but you're not sure if it's spelled that way or some other way, then you can go and put an asterisk right there, and then you get John right there with an asterisk. So it can come up with either John, spelled like this, or John with the H. And then maybe your name's Johnson, another very common last name. Well, then you can maybe replace that, and potentially you can put an asterisk right here, maybe it's Johnston, and then you can go and search, and it'll come up with different things there. For example, in this case we have Johnson, and we also have Johnston that will show up, because a lot of the time, if you've been doing genealogy for a little while, you know that there are certain records that get indexed wrong, or they spell their name wrong, or something like that, and so it's kind of a helpful tool. So far I can't find any examples of, oh, Joan, could also count Joan right there, and many other things like that. So definitely when you're doing genealogy research, use asterisks. They've helped me many times. Alright. Okay, and the next tip is to not believe everything you see with other people's family trees. So if you're on a website like Ancestry, MyHeritage, Genie, stuff like that, Family Search, if you're on genealogy websites like that, you want to be kind of wary of the information that other users have. So we'll just go with the John Johnson example again, why not? And so we have the John Johnson right here, and if we search that up, we'll get some results. And if we go down to the family trees part of here, if we'll load, okay, if we go down to right here, let's say this person right here, John Philip Johnson, is the person you're looking for. So if we just pop on over to this person's tree, we can see John Philip Johnson, basketball player actually, and let's say he's also in your family tree, but let's say it says on here he was born in Annapolis, Maryland, when in actuality you have in your tree, from sources with other records on that website, that he was born in Baltimore, let's say, instead of Annapolis. And so I wouldn't, if you're doing a smart match, or you're looking at hints for a certain person like that, and you happen to stumble upon another user with the same person in their tree, don't trust all the information. What I would do is, if you're potentially confirming that match, maybe before you do that, kind of look at the information first over here and see if it first of all lines up with your tree, and second of all lines up with all the different information, pieces of information you have besides that, just in the records category. So, um, yeah, and so definitely utilize this part, but kind of confirm your sources before doing it. Okay, so the third tip of this video is, I'm not sure if this is only an Ancestry exclusive, but on Ancestry there's a little box right here that says keyword, and this box is very useful because in this box you can type in certain things. So for example, if your ancestor came from another country, and potentially that's changed what country it's in now. So great example of that is, for example, Russia, because obviously Russia was the Soviet Union, had a lot more land, places like Ukraine and Kazakhstan and Belarus and Poland and that kind of area that might have changed. And when you type this in, let's say if you type a city in Ukraine, like Kiev. If you type that, that just says Ukraine. But I think what would be is a great shortcut to that is to type in something like, you can type in the country it was back then when when your ancestor came from it, and so Russia, and then you can type it in there. And the other thing this is useful for is if something is misspelled on there, because Kiev, I've seen it be spelled like that, like that, like that. I've seen it be spelled many other ways. And so if you put those all into a keyword box, that will help. Also, if you're looking at immigration records, you can type in the name of the ship they were on, or if they had a certain job, you can type in if they were, for example, a locksmith, you can type that in right here, and that can basically narrow down the results. And so now if we look right here, we can see, oh, okay, it's all family stories. But if we look at immigration, for example, then it will say Kiev right there, Kiev. I mean, there's many different spellings, and putting this into the keyword will definitely help narrow down your results and find it. So, keyword's definitely your friend. Okay, so the fourth tip that I have is to go over to a menu on one of these. Now, once again, this might be an Ancestry exclusive, I'm not exactly sure. I know that if you do get a full membership on Genie, for example, you can do this, and potentially on other websites. But basically, that is the member search. So, you can do stuff like this where you can search up a member of another family tree. So maybe you just did a DNA kit, and a lot of these DNA kits, have some kind of thing where it shows different cousins who have also taken that DNA kit, and maybe let's say you want to find them, and we'll use that same John Johnson example. Well, accidentally clicked on this guy. John Hafey. We'll try we'll try that again. So if we just go over to member search and search up John Johnson, then look at all these different results. You can do see all results if you want to see all results, and kind of click through them, and then you can find other members' family trees and kind of link them up to your own, because maybe you have a cousin, and if you look at their family tree, if it will load, not sure what's going on. Okay, we'll try this again. But what if we do that and search it and find this John Johnson? You can kind of click through it, look at their tree, can take a look at their tree, see if there's any matching information, and if there's any new information, because this could be a very helpful way, basically, of finding new information about your tree, because all of these people are new genealogists who might know more than you, new information, and so definitely this member search can be very helpful. I'd say more useful after you've taken some kind of DNA test or something, or done something of that nature, but it's still very helpful tool. It's on some websites. Okay, and the final tip that I have for you today is in the hints category. So I'm using the King John family tree as an example from my very first video on the channel. And so we got all these different hints about these people, but I find that a very small but useful tool is to actually kind of narrow down the results by sorting them by which things they are. So if you're looking for another member's family tree that matches it, so then you can click on this column if you want maybe some kind of story, because a lot of the time they have different kind of texts. And databases that have tons of information about your relatives. If you want one of those, and you can click on this column. Photos, pretty self-explanatory. Basically just photos of that family member. And just plain old records. Just the records, not the photos or the any kind of media like that. Just the records. Then you can click on this column. And also, you can do some of these filterings too, because if you don't want to go to the person specifically and you want to kind of see all their hints out here, you can go and search up, in this case I'll search up James Madison, and you can find all the hints for the James Madison. So you can find right here, there's a find the grave, right here is a millennium file, international marriage records, cemetery inscriptions, all that sort of thing you can find. And so just going to this itself, besides going to your family tree anyways, and clicking on the specific people to see the hint is very useful, and definitely one you should use. So I thank you for watching this video. Hope you guys are voting fine during this rough time, and see you all later. Also, one more thing is considering coming out with some kind of new upload schedule, because as of now, something around 8 uploads into my channel, I really haven't gotten any kind of uniform, straightforward schedule, and obviously, with the quarantine, I have a lot more time to work on these videos than before, and so I wanted to start some kind of schedule. So I was considering maybe doing one every 4 days or something around that. And so I just wanted to let you know. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you guys for watching. And I will see you guys all later. Goodbye.